For today's assignment, you are going to need the slides from class and you're going to need this worksheet. It's a paper worksheet. Your substitute should have a copy of this on the back table. If they didn't pass it out to you, please ask them for a copy. You need to use slides 37 to 54, so please go to your slides and find slide 37. That's our agenda. Today we are going over declarations, initializations, variables, and so on. We're also going to go over functions. If you cannot find these slides, they are on Canvas. Otherwise, watch the video, go through these with me. We are starting on this slide. All programming languages define a list of pre-written functions, sets of instructions that are already defined and make up a language. A function is a set of instructions. You should use your slides to fill in the blanks on this worksheet. So right here, definition of a function. I'm kind of jotting down a definition as we're explaining this. I might go back and fill this in, but the definition of a function is a set of instructions in a programming language. Next, we're looking for 3 functions we can use to display information to the console. I would like you guys to slowly flip through these slides. They may not be in the exact order, so you will have to go back and forth. This is talking about parameters. I'm noticing we have a vocab word. This is talking about return values, and again, I'm noticing that there's another vocab word. This function utilizes both vocab words. I'm noticing that parameters go into a function, return values come out of a function. Most of the tables that I have display a lot of information. For example, the list of display functions, these are the 3 ways you guys can show off information on your console. So we've used print and println before. Console log is the new one. We can use print, println, make sure that's an L, and console log. The main difference between these is console log is JS exclusive, and this will work on your console on the inspect tool. So when we eventually combine JavaScript and all of our websites, your inspect tool will get console log. Both print and println are something specific to the package we are using. And they're only really going to work on CodeHS or if you have a different package that we want. Print, as many of you guys have seen, displays things on one line. Println, many of y'all have noticed, prints out something, then gives me a new line after. This can be important to jot down, so make sure you make a little note to yourself. The next part of our worksheet says the simplest functions are used by writing the blank and blank. So we need to look at the simplest way to call a different function. I recommend you actually go up a bit. Like I said, a lot of this is out of order. That's on purpose. So you kind of have to look through and figure out, okay, what do I need? What am I looking at? All functions are going to be written with some specific things. If we look at our slides here, we have a function name, parameter. We have just a function name. We have function name with parameter again. The simplest functions that you guys can write are going to use the function's name and parentheses. So the simplest possible function you can write is your function name followed by parentheses, followed by a semicolon. This is the simplest, easiest function we can use. As an example, some functions we've used like this would be println. Some of y'all have noticed that if you write println with parentheses, nothing else, it just shows a new line. It's like pressing enter on Google Docs. Super simple, that's a nice, easy one we can use. In our next section here, functions can have parameters. I saw that definition earlier. I made a note that there seemed to be some vocab. We're going to write down the vocab terms. I'm going to go back to that slide with just parameters because that's going to be easier for me to track what's going on. This specifies all functions with parameters require extra information. You have to give your function some info to do the thing you want to do. Like printing, you'll print nothing unless you tell me what words am I printing out, what variables or what values. The parameters are the input for a function or the extra info. I'm going to write that down. Functions can have parameters which are the input of a function or the extra info. Now, the general format of functions that require parameters is, let's take a look at our general format here. At the bottom, anywhere inside the blue boxes, that's where I always write my code. We have the function's name, parameter, parameter, and so on and so forth. The 3 dots here mean and so on or keep going. If you have 5 parameters, you'll write them the same way with commas. If you have 2, you can just write 2. I'm going to write my function name. Whoops, put a little underscore there because it makes it a little neater, at least for our notes. I'm going to mark these as parameter 1, comma, parameter 2, kind of running out of space, dot, dot, dot. It's okay if it doesn't fit 100% in the box. You guys are welcome to use all the space outside the box as well. And that's it. We did page 1. Some functions require a blank or a blank. These are always written in front of the function names separated by a period. This one is a little bit weird. We are going to take a look at specifically the console log example. Right here, look at the middle column where it says console.log. Some of the weirder functions we're going to use require stuff in the front. This is something we call a class or an object. We always write these in front of the function names separated by a period. So our general format is going to be class or object. You're going to choose one of those. Dot function name. We have a couple of examples today. One is that funky little console log. We've got multiple different pieces here. Text is what we refer to as our parameter. So this is going to show in the console the text, word text. This thing in front here, console, this is what we refer to as our object or class. We're not going to get too much into the difference about those right now. That's something for the AP class. Just know console is an object because it's a real thing. The console on CodeHS, you've got your code on one side and you have your actual console or display on the other side. So we call that an object because it's something that exists outside of our code. We're going to come back to this format for our last example, which is the last part of our notes. But one of the things you're going to do today is you're going to learn about randomness. We can use something called a randomizer to get random colors or to get a random number. So I'm going to write randomizer.nextColor. This is one of those funky things. And this randomizer is what we refer to as a class. The main difference you guys will care about is objects are lowercase and classes are uppercase. That's usually the easiest way to tell. Don't worry too much about it. That class basically means it's a collection of stuff. So there's a randomizer class that'll randomize your numbers, your colors, your decimals, and so on and so forth. But this is another weird way we can call upon functions. For all functions, you must always have what the simplest function needs. So if we take a scroll up here, our simplest functions are used by writing the function's name and the parentheses. Every function has both of these, name, parentheses. If you don't have a name or parentheses, it's not a function. So for all functions, you must always have a function name and parentheses. Now please note, if there is more than one parameter, separate them by commas. You'll notice up here we did one example of the parameter 1, comma, parameter 2. If there was a third parameter, then I'd write parameter 3. A blank is only required if there is an object or class. If we take a look up here, console log, randomizer next color, all of these have the period in front. In JavaScript, the period is only required if there is an object or a class. I know CSS does periods in the front. It's all different. It can be a little confusing. That's why we're taking these notes. Object names are always lowercase, and your class names are always uppercase. That's all of part 1 done. That's sort of the hard part. That's the lecture I wanted to give you guys. For part 2, you're going to look at the inputs slide. Please go back to your slides here. There's a lot of extra info about user input functions. You guys got a chance to try that on CodeHS. Each input function has a separate one, so if your data type is Boolean, true or false, you're going to use this input function. If you want a number, you're going to decide which type of number you want, integers or floats, aka decimals. And if you want to string a word, a phrase, you are going to ask for a read line. All of those functions are summarized here. I would like you to use this table and the previous slides to help you fill in part 2. Part 3 is about randomness. I know you have a paper copy, so you guys can't click these videos. They are lower down on Canvas, just scroll down. Or they are also available on your slides. So after this random number section, you're going to see the videos down here. I just forgot to put those in. That's it for the video. Please finish parts 2 and 3 without me. Turn your paper in to Mr. Ross when you're done, and then work on your CodeHS assignments.